Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let all be happy in this world, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion or nationality. Let all be healthy in the whole world. Let all attain to good. Let none get any suffering in the whole world. That is our prayer. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Peace be unto all. This is the prayer every person in India from childhood is being repeating, and that is the only solution for the problems of the world, particularly the subject on which we are speaking. Respected Dr. Devi, dear Dr. Maheta, dear Shubhangini Devi Raje, dear Parimalbhai Maheta, dear Sitanshubhai Maheta, other dignitaries present here, dear friends. It is a matter of joy and also a matter of privilege that I am standing here. It's a great privilege for me to stand here to give a lecture on this memorial lecture on Yashashchandra Maheta Memorial Lecture. When Sri Parimalbhai Maheta approached me, I immediately agreed to his request. I said, by acceding to this request, this is the minimum which I can do to pay back the debt which has been incurred on all the members of Ramakrishna Mission, including me, which has been done by your great-grandfather, Yashashchandra, by hosting Swami Vivekananda in Dilaram Bungalow at Vadodara. And in 1892, Yashashchandra was the great-grandfather of Parimalbhai and Sitanshubhai. He was the Diwan here, and he was a bosom friend of Haridas Viharidas Desai, who was the Diwan of Junagadh at that time, who came in very close contact with Swamiji. In fact, Swami Vivekananda wrote 12 letters, which are all now part of the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Very inspiring letters that reveals the intimate relationship that Haridas Viharidas Desai had with Swami Vivekananda. And it is he who gave a letter of introduction to Swami Vivekananda when Swami Vivekananda was travelling all over the country, preparing himself for the world mission which he took in 1893. But before that he wandered all over the country, going from Calcutta to UP, Benares, UP, Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal, and then Rajasthan, and then Gujarat. And Gujarat he went to so many places: Ahmedabad, Limdi, Junagadh, Bhavnagar, Porbandar, Dwarka, Somnath, Palitana. And the last leg of his journey was Nadiyad. From Nadiyad, that was the place where Diwan Haridas Desai's house was there. He met the brothers of Haridas Desai and then came to Baroda. Then he writes in a letter dated 26 April 1892, Swami Vivekananda wrote to Haridas Viharidas Desai that your friend Manilal Desai took all possible care of me here in Dilaram Bungalow. That is our historical record. We have got the original letter in our archives in Beluma, and we have a photocopy of that. That is why we have been requesting the government of Gujarat to hand over this bungalow to Ramakrishna Mission so that we could have a lifting memorial here. And at long last, on 18th April 2005, on Ram Navami Day, we received this bungalow. And as you know, now we are trying to convert it into befitting memorial. It's a very old building. First of all, we are repairing it. An exhibition on Swami Vivekananda has already come up. Library and other activities have come up. All of you are most welcome to visit this Dilaram bungalow. And I am thankful to Sri Parimalbhai Maheta that we have a beautiful exhibition of Swami Vivekananda. There are 74 photographs so far that have been discovered, various poses of Swami Vivekananda along with the historical details as to under what circumstances the photographs were taken. We have got this whole gallery of photographs. We have also got 40 paintings conveying the life and message of Swami Vivekananda. But one thing is lacking. This exhibition is in Vadodara. It is in Dilaram Bungalow where Swami Vivekananda himself stayed, and the people from all over the world are coming to visit this bungalow because this contains the vibrations. So they come here and meditate in the meditation hall because this contains the vibrations of the great Swami Vivekananda. Only one thing is lacking. The person who hosted Swami Vivekananda in 1892, his photograph is there. And Parimalbhai Maheta was so prompt, he is always prompt, So he came personally and handed over to me a beautiful photograph of Sri Manila Jashashchandra, the same photograph you are seeing, the same copy I have got now, and so we are placing it in our exhibition. Thank you very much, Parimalbhai. Sri Parimalbhai Maheta gave the introduction as to under what circumstances this memorial lecture series was started. I really appreciate the spirit of Pratibha Chokshi and Yashashchandra Maheta, both of whom contributed to the corpus of the fund. There are so many people whose parents died. They live for some time and forget them. There are very, very few people who do something to perpetuate the memory of their parents, to pay back the debt. Very few. Out of those few, very few who have got this innovative method of arranging the memorial lectures so that every year, not only that we remember them, but you continue to do good to humanity, the work which was being done by Yashashchandra Maheta during his lifetime as the Diwan of Kutch. So that great work is continuing. I am very happy the family members of Yashashchandra Maheta, of Manila Jashashchandra who hosted Swami Vivekananda, the same family members are continuing that great glorious tradition. And we only wish Parimalbhai Maheta is very energetic, very young in spirit. He may continue to guide this memorial series and continue to be so active. And Sitanshubhai Maheta, I have requested him to give an article for a souvenir we are trying to bring out, where we want to give a special article on Manila Jashashchandra. So I wish and pray for the family members. I wish and pray for the peace of the soul of Sri Shubhangini Maheta on this day. I pay my homage on this day to Sri Yashashchandra Maheta, in whose memory we are having this lecture series. And I pay my homage and I pay my respect to all the family members of the Maheta family. The subject that has been given to me is Interfaith Harmony, Problems and Prospects. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Sri Parimalbhai Maheta and others who framed the subject for this memorial lecture. It's a very, very important subject. It is the need of the hour, as I will say. All around the globe what we find is so much of infighting going on. They could not have a better time to discuss this subject. It's very good that has been kept. Interfaith harmony is the need of the hour. I need not tell you much, but I would like to tell you one thing. Since all of you know the problems are many. Most important problem today is we are talking about globalization. Globalization has come to stay, at least on economic front. Communication technology has evolved to a great extent through internet, through cyberspace, through ISD, through the fast-moving aeroplanes. The physical distance has been annihilated in the whole world. It's a global village, as they call it, because of the latest communication technology. Very difficult, very easy now to communicate, and very easy to travel. The whole world has become small. It's an age of globalization. It's a global village. But paradoxically, the physical distance has been annihilated, and the distance between man to man has been increased. To such an extent, there is no communication between family members. What to talk of a village, or what to talk of a city, what to talk of a nation, what to talk of national integration, and what to talk of universal brotherhood. This is the paradox. In this age of globalization, we are trying to find out the points of strength by which we can go for this universal brotherhood. One of the main impediments, and I am also glad previously we were thinking about the problems for India. But fortunately, or maybe it's God's wish, that India has been removed. And I think in the age of globalization, we want to talk in terms of global. And after all, the problems of India are not different from problems of the other countries. There are some peculiar problems of India because of multiple dimensions, which are in other countries in lesser degree, but it is a question of degree. And also, there are some factors which are common between the problems of our country and other countries. So I would like to rather concentrate on those common factors. All over the world, we are now talking about the globalization. We want to have global peace. In this global age, we want to have global peace. Global peace cannot come unless until we have a global civilization. And this global civilization cannot come without universal brotherhood, where there is no clash between the civilizations. All of you know about the problems that the world is facing. The problem of terrorism, the problem of communal riots, communal disharmony. We know the problems of Vadodara, we know the problems what happened in Vadodara, we know the problems in our country, we know the problems what are happening today in various parts of the world. But we are not aware, we have to go to the root of the problem. This disharmony, this lack of world peace, it is all because of we were thinking it is mostly due to political reasons or political conflicts or political power oppressions. But a very nice book has been brought out by Samuel P. Huntington. In his book, The Clash of Civilizations and Remaking of a World Order, he has given certain statistics which are very much revealing in nature. He says most of the clashes and the conflicts that are going on, we appear to be between the two countries or between the two denominations, between the two territories, but they are not. They are essentially the conflict between two civilizations. Essentially the conflict between various religions and religions' faiths. Unless and until we have interfaith harmony, there will not be any global peace, any global civilization, any global peace we cannot have. And in this age, if we do not have global peace, it can be more dangerous. Einstein was asked, what is your idea about the Third World War? He said, I can't tell anything about the Third World War, But I can tell you something about the Fourth World War if it happens. If the Fourth World War happens, it will be fought between the parties with stones and sticks. That means, during the Third World War, the whole civilization will be completely annihilated. We today have got such nuclear weapons which can wipe out the whole of humanity not once but 70 times. And with these weapons we are now quarreling. It is not a quarrel between countries, it is a quarrel between faiths. More particularly between two Semitic religions, Islam and Christianity. Samuel P. Huntington, I will just read out an extract, some statistics that he has given. He says, 50% of wars involving pairs of states of different religions between 1820 and 1929 were wars between Muslims and Christians. Of the 20 ethno-political conflicts of 1993-94, 15 were between Muslims and non-Muslims. Figures for death in frontline wars underway that either by fundamentalist terrorism or political power struggle in the early 1990s included 50,000 in the Philippines, 50,000 to 1 lakh in Sri Lanka, 20,000 in Kashmir, 50,000 to 1.5 million in Sudan, 100,000 in Chechnya, and 200,000 in East Timor. We are not aware of how much of quarreling and how much of killing is going on in various parts of the world because of this clash of civilizations. The clash between interfaith, clash between two faiths. This is the problem, this interfaith harmony. Now, you know about the problems. There are many. The essential problem is to have the harmony between various faiths. If we cannot have the harmony, we will not be able to have a global peace. Neither we can have peace in our city, nor we can have peace in the country, nor we can have peace at a global level. So interfaith harmony is a must. We know about the problem. But now about the solution. What are the prospects? Now, what can be the solution of this interfaith, this harmony? How to bring about harmony? Now, various methods are suggested by various persons. One method they suggest is a blacksmith's method. I call it a blacksmith's method. You know the story about a blacksmith. There was a blacksmith who was working and his old father was sitting by his side and watching. Now, this blacksmith loved his father very much. He could not tolerate a fly was troubling his father too much. And he saw a fly was sitting on the head of his father. He could not tolerate it. He took the hammer and just smashed the fly. And the fly died instantly and the father also died instantly. This is one method. Kill the fly and kill the man. No headache if there is no head. Na rahega baat, na bajegi bansuri. So there is a conflict between religions. All the religions are all the time quarreling. Then better kill the religion itself. No religion. Let us become communist. Religion is opium for the mankind. Remove religion. Let us have no quarrel in the name of religion. So remove religion from society. What happens? We have seen ultimately Russia tried this experiment, it to fail. A man cannot live by bread alone. Swami Vivekananda says, remove religion from humanity. What will be left with will be a group of savages living in the forest. Religion, spirituality gives the kernel. Animals may be able to live only on bread. A man cannot live by bread alone. Religion cannot be taken out. If you remove religion and spirituality, what will be left with an animal life? That is one method which we should not go for. Sorry if I am too outspoken, but I have given the word pseudo-secularism. We want secularism, but we don't want pseudo-secularism. What is pseudo-secularism? Secularism says ours is a secular state. But we have taken it to mean that we will not respect any religion. And so from our education policy, right from the Macaulay's time, we have removed this teaching about spirituality. Why? Ours is secular country. But the Supreme Court has given the verdict that just as becoming secular does not mean that you become irreligious. In spite of being a staunch Muslim, in spite of being a staunch Christian, in spite of being a staunch Hindu, you can continue to be a secularist. True secularism means equal respect towards all religions. The state will not give any preferential treatment to any religion. What we have come to mean is, the secularism means no respect towards any religion. Remove religion. न रहेगा बांस, न बजेगी बांसुरी. सिर दर्द कैसे होता है? सिर होगा तो सिर दर्द होगा, सिर को खत्म होगा. Remove religion, no religious quarrel will be there. Pseudo-secularism is not the answer. Second method is, that is pro-Christus method. You know, in Greek mythology, there is a story of a pro-Christus. Pro-Christus was a person who used to stay in a hilltop. And anybody passing by, he would invite that person to his house. Pro-Christus. And then he had a very nice bed, a very nice cot. And he said, my cot is the perfect cot for each and everybody passing through this road. So he would bring the guest there, and if the cot is not suiting to the height of the person, he will pull the leg. That is how leg pulling is done. He will pull the leg of that person, so naturally he will be killed and then he will eat up. Why? He is serving the guest by putting him on the cot. And if the leg is more in size, he will cut that leg and put it to that size. This is pro-Christus. This is the method, pro-Christus method, which is being suggested for interfaith harmony. They say, let us have a uniform cot. Let us have a uniform religion. When I go to schools and colleges for these programs, youth programs, personal development programs, and during the question answer session, some students ask, Swamiji, what is this always for this quarrel between religions? Why not have one religion? I asked, what is the food you like? Nowadays they don't like Raje and all that, they like Maggi. Okay, you like Maggi. Okay, morning breakfast only Maggi, noon lunch Maggi, night Maggi. 365 days Maggi, all the 12 months Maggi. How long you can go on? Not only that, because you like Maggi, you tell all the people in the whole world to take Maggi and Maggi alone. This is what is your proposition. Every religion has got certain specific characteristics. If you want like Maggi, let you take Maggi. Another person likes another food, let you take another food. So many varieties of food are there. There is nothing wrong in varieties of food. But the wrong thing is that when you say, what I like is the only food that will be taken by all, and if you don't take that food, I will cut out your head. You like being a Muslim? Yes, being a Muslim. You like being Hindu? Be a Hindu. But when you say no, I have travelled to this path and this is the only path, and so there will be uniformity in the whole world, and that uniformity will come by making all of them follow my religion. And every religion says, my religion is the best. Not only that, my religion is the only good religion, and all the other religions will take you to hell. So either you follow my religion, or I will cut off your head. This is the process that is going on for last thousands of years. It has been going on. Everybody wants a uniform religion, and that also my religion is the religion that is suitable for the whole world, and so all of you come to my religion, or I will cut out your head. So one type of religion, that is Semitic religions, they want all the religions, all these other religious followers to follow their religion. They want to convert all the others into their fold. There are other types of religions who say that if you are born in our religion, then only you will be saved, otherwise you will go to hell. They don't want to convert others, but they say if you are born in this world, they want to exclude others, exclude all the others, and these people they want to include all the others, but both are going for disharmony. So this progressive method also will not work. Then there are many other methods, syncretic method and synthetic methods. Take everything from everything, every good religion, make a new religion, a khichdi of that, and tell all the other people to follow. How many will follow? Those who are scholars and attending interfaith conferences, they will follow. What about the masses? They have been following their own rituals. They have been following their own rules, regulations. You cannot remove them from them. So ultimately, with all these numbers of interfaith conferences, the problems are not solved. What is the solution then? Only one solution is left, is tolerance. I will follow my religion, good for me. You will follow your religion, I don't mind. I think my religion is the best. But if you don't want to follow my religion, okay. You follow your religion, I don't mind. I will tolerate you. But Swami Vivekananda says, a better word is acceptance. So Swami Vivekananda said in his Parliament Religion Chicago in 1893 on 11th September, mind you the date was 11th September, 9/11. 9/11/1893, he gave his speech where he said, we do not only tolerate all religions, but we accept all religions as equally true. And it's a paradox, a great paradox, a great wonder. On 11th September, what a coincidence, on 11th September 1893, he warned that if we do not accept all the religions as equally true, what will happen? We will have to pay a very heavy price in the form of bloodshed. But we didn't listen to that warning, and exactly on 11th September 2001, the world tower was broken by the same type of dogmatism, fundamentalism, sectarianism about which Swami Vivekananda warned. And giving the exact wordings, Swami Vivekananda said, you will be astonished. On 11th September 1893, Swami Vivekananda said that sectarianism, bigotry, and its horrible descendant fanaticism have long possessed this beautiful earth. They have filled the earth with violence, drenched it often and often with human blood, destroyed civilization, and sent whole nations to despair. Had it not been for these horrible demons, human society would be far more advanced than it is now. But their time is come, and I fervently hope that the bell that tolled this morning in honor of this convention may be the death knell of all fanaticism, of all persecution with the sword or with the pen, and of all uncharitable feelings between persons wending their way to the same goal. On 11th September 1893, Swami Vivekananda warned that if we want to stop the bloodshed, the violence, then let us get rid of this fanaticism and sectarianism and bigotry. But we didn't listen to the words before wisdom, the words of wisdom, and the result was 11th September 2001, 9/11, the world tower broken. We do not know how many more towers will be broken. If we do not pay heed to the wise words of these wise persons like Swami Vivekananda, who have been not only thinking, but praying and weeping for universal brotherhood, for humanity, for bringing them together, and for the removal of suffering from the whole world, particularly the suffering brought on by man himself. What a tragedy. There are natural disasters. We have to bear them. There is no other way out. Though, to a certain extent, our ecological balance and global warming may be there, and we can do something about it. But then, here, these communal wars, this infighting, this terrorism, all this suffering is been brought by man on man himself. What a tragedy. And only reason is bigotry, secularism, dogmatism. Why? Because we do not know the fundamental truth lying within each and every religion. Every religion is great. Every religion has got certain characteristics, certain beautiful features, but we are not able to appreciate the other religions' features. And that is why, because of this lack of misunderstanding, we try to kill the persons of other faiths because we do not know the beauty. We do not know their harmony, the unity lying behind this diversity. Unity in diversity is the principle we have to accept. We have to accept the greatness of other religions also. In order to do that, we have to understand the greatness lying there. In order to do that, we will have to develop a mutual understanding. So, this universal acceptance, not only universal tolerance, is the only solution to the problems of religious plurality in this world. And if the humanity is told that all religions are equally true, the religious followers are not going to listen to you. Any hypothesis, they are not going to listen to you. Of course, in the scientific age, we want evidence. And so, Claude Allen Starr, he has written a book, who was professor in Boston University, written a book, God of All. He says, if one individual could take up and make experiments in his own life of various parts of religions that have been told in various religions, and turn by turn experiment with all the other religions, and then come to the conclusion based on his experiments that all religions lead to the same goal, and the goal is one, only paths are different. If somebody could do it, then only the modern humanity will listen to it. And then he says, fortunately for us, this has already been done. Unfortunately for us, the world is unaware about this. Sri Ramakrishna was born in 1836 in a remote village in Kamapuku near Calcutta. He had a vision of Mother Kali, but he did not stop there. Then he practiced various other forms of sadhana, spiritual practices according to Hinduism, and then had the vision of Mahavir, had the vision of Hanuman, had the vision of Rama, had the vision of Krishna. And then he practiced 64 tantras under Bhairavi Brahmani. Then he practiced Vedanta under Totapuri. And then he got Nirvikalpa Samadhi, his experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and he reached the supreme state beyond time, space and position, which is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the highest state. And he remained there for 6 months. He was not satisfied with that. In 1866, a thought came to him. What about following Islam religion? There was a Sufi saint, Govind Rai, who was visiting Dashineshwar. He took from him various teachings. He listened to Quran. For some time, he became a Muslim in all his behavior. Removed the photographs of all the gods and goddesses from his room, which he was so fond of. He dressed like a Muslim, ate like a Muslim, and prayed 5 times a day namaz regularly in nearby mosque that is situated just behind the Dashineshwar temple. And after that, once he had after at the end, the culmination of the spiritual practice, he had the vision of a holy man with a white beard, and then somebody thought from within, an idea came, this is Prophet Muhammad. Not only that, he has a vision. Prophet Muhammad started distributing from one plate of rice, started distributing to all the people irrespective of caste, and Sri Ramakrishna also partook from it. After that vision, he had the vision of the ultimate reality beyond time, space and position, the same experience that he had in Samadhi after the practice of Vedanta, same experience he had at the culmination of the practice of Islam. Then, in 1876, he came across another person who used to follow, who used to read out Bible. And so, Shambhu Malik he called, and every day would make him recite Quran, recite Bible. For some days, he started practicing Christianity. Day and night thinking about the teachings of Bible, day and night thinking about Christ. And he had gone to a garden nearby, Dakshineshwar, Jadu Mallik's garden, where Jadu Mallik's drawing room, there was a photograph, a portrait, baby Christ sitting on the lap of Mother Mary. Sri Ramakrishna was looking intently at that photograph. Suddenly, the photograph became alive, and from the face of Jesus Christ, the baby Christ, a ray of light came, entered into the heart of Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna fell down unconscious, went into superconscious state. And after a few days, when he was walking under Panchvati tree, Dakshineshwar, this Panchvati tree, while walking through that, suddenly he found a tall man with white complexion, with a beard, is coming towards him. He was just wondering who could be that person. Slowly he came. Then somebody told from his mind, here is Christ who sacrificed his life for saving mankind, who gave his blood for saving mankind. Somebody told from within. By that time, Christ came and embraced him and entered into him. And Sri Ramakrishna went into superconscious state. Again, he had the same experience which he had at the end of Islam sadhana and at the end of Vedanta sadhana, after all these various sadhana, various spiritual practices. And of course, he used to keep a statue of Buddha and Mahavir in his own room. They are still there. So he practiced all various forms of religion. And then he came to the conclusion, I have experimented various paths of spiritual practices. Ultimately, the experience that I had is only one. And that is why he declared, Joto Mot, Toto Pot. As many faiths, so many paths. Based on his own experience. And he used to give a beautiful illustration. There is a pond of water. A Hindu goes to one side of the pond and says, I have brought jal. Another side, a Muslim goes from another side and says, no, I have brought pani. Third side, Christian goes and says, no, I have brought water. Fourth side, another person goes and says, no, I have brought aqua. Sri Ramakrishna's wired body. The same element is called water, jal, pani, aqua. If you ask the scientists, they will say it is H2O. Whatever name you want to give. The ultimate reality beyond time, space and causation, Satchidananda. Now you call that as Brahman, or Kali, or Krishna, or Ram, or Durga, or Allah, or God. Names are different. Ultimate reality is one. Paths are different. Names are different. Reality is one. There can be as many paths. If you want to go to Dilaram Bungalow, from here, you can go through the same path, and if you want to have a little round of the Vadodara city, you can also go through another path and have a nice enjoyment of so many things, and then go to Dilaram Bungalow. It depends upon you. There are various paths leading to Dilaram Bungalow. There are various paths leading to ultimate reality. You may take whatever path suits you. All paths ultimately lead to the same goal. This is the experience Sri Ramakrishna had based on his experience. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, Sri Ramakrishna's life was itself the parliament of religions. So many teachers of various denominations, of various sects, of various religions came turn by turn by some divine will. And for 12 long years he went on practicing various forms of religion. And ultimately, based on his experience, he declared as many faiths, so many paths. Today, we need these experiments. We need to know this about the life of Ramakrishna and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna in order to develop the interfaith harmony. This is the need of the hour. Claude Ellen Stark says, because we have already done experimentation, but because we are unaware of it. Roma Rolla, the French Nobel Prize winner, says he wrote a biography of Sri Ramakrishna in 1932. He says, the man whose image here I evoke was the consummation of 2,000 years of spiritual life of 300 million people. That was the population in 1932 in India. 300 million people. Total consummation of spiritual practice of 2,000 years. Tomorrow says. Of course, the first biography in English was written by not an Indian on Sri Ramakrishna. That was written by Professor Max Muller way back in 1898. Of course, later on so many biographies came. One of the best biographies that I recommend to our friends is Sri Ramakrishna and his disciples by Christopher Ishru. He was a famous novelist of America. This book is not a novel. It is all based on facts. All based on facts. Documented facts. We document the evidence. But the presentation is so beautiful, you feel as if you're reading a novel. And the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna has become now the world scripture. It was written in Bengali first, then it was translated into Hindi, then English, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna Kathamrita was the Bengali name, then Ramakrishna Vachanamrita, Suryakant Tripathi Nirala translated into Hindi, then Gujarati, then Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Odia, then English, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna was translated into Japanese, French, German, Greek, Russian, Dutch, Spanish, so many languages of the world have been translated. Slowly, the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna and the life of Sri Ramakrishna are being made aware to the whole public. And wherever they are, wherever they penetrate, this communal tendency gets immediately killed. This concept of interfaith harmony automatically comes. You cannot be untouched by this concept of great harmony of religions. If you read the life of Sri Ramakrishna and the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, you cannot remain untouched. Not only that, Swami Vivekananda in 1897 started Ramakrishna Mission in order to give a practical shape to the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, his Guru. But he said, three teachings are prominent of Sri Ramakrishna. And the mission of Ramakrishna is for teaching the message of Ramakrishna. What are the three important messages? Number one, as a human being, our first and the most important goal of life is to realize God, to realize our supreme intelligence, to realize our divinity, which is already available in us, we have just manifest the divinity. Manifest the divinity and fulfill the goal of human life. Otherwise, what is the difference between animals and man? This is the only difference. Between other species and the human being. That is spiritual illumination. That is the goal of life. Second, you don't have to go to a forest or Himalayas for reaching the divinity. There are four methods: Raje, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. All of them can be practiced in wherever you are, at any place wherever you are. Remaining as a householder also, you can do the same thing. You need not give up the whole world, become a hermit and go to Himalayas. Wherever you are, you can practice, convert work into worship and serve God in man. This Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva. This is the second important message. And third most important is Joto More, Toto More. As many faiths, so many paths. All religions lead to the same goal. Don't hate anyone. Now this is not stigmatization. We are not meaning to say that yes, It is not, in Hindi they say, Ganga Tir mein Ganga Das or Jamuna Tir mein Jamuna Das. Whenever there is any party, you take up the cap of that party and become that party. No, it is not like that. It is not taking up a comfortable religion or adopting a religion according to the selfish needs of your everyday life. No. You stick to your religion. At the same time, give respect to other religions because other religions have got their own validity. You may not accept those reality for your life, but allow others to follow their own religion. That Catholicity has to come. That acceptance that all religions lead to the same goal, all religions are equally true, but for me, my religion is greatest. Okay, you follow your religion. But don't have any hatred. This hatred or disgust for other religions then gradually transforms itself into sectarianism, bigotry, and then ultimately leading to terrorism, and ultimately leading to violence, ultimately leading to killing, and ultimately leading to the removal of world peace and destruction of the whole world. So this hatred has to be given up. That is why Claude Stark says, we are faced then with a total dilemma of religious plurality. The one group of religious traditions each seeking to include all men, the second group seeking to include all others. It is evident that this dilemma can neither be resolved by a dogmatic assertion of harmony, nor by a superficial dismissal of the profound differences among religions, nor by theological speculations alone, nor by ecclesiastical decree, nor by reference to scriptural authority. Neither can the dilemma itself be ignored by the serious student of religion. What to do so would be to yield to the spiritual indifference and apathy of this separation of all traditions up to date heirs. The dilemma is also not resolved merely by advancing the postulate that all religions are valid paths to the one God. Scriptural or ecclesiastical authority cannot adequately demonstrate this postulate, even if that were generally their intent. Their authenticity would be challenged by the adherents of other religious traditions. This is exactly happening. The adherents of other religions, they pose this question. Okay, you say your religion is great, I say my religion is great. Then who is greater? So the same conflict again comes. The question is set forth in this book whether this approach of Sri Ramakrishna, an approach based on the experience of God, offers a workable hypothesis towards solving this central dilemma. The problem of this investigation is to present Sri Ramakrishna's approach as fully as possible, using the extensive documentation of his life and teachings as well as those of his principal successors, and then to show how his approach may adequately fulfill the condition of such a hypothesis. But there, Sri Ramakrishna did not take up a hypothesis and try to show this unity by some theoretical proposition. So, Claude Stark says, Sri Ramakrishna therefore cannot be legitimately challenged as a syncretist or an eclectic, for he neither sought to establish a new religion, taking elements from each, nor attempted a syncretic melange of diverse religious traditions. He was a true hermeneutician in his practice of religious disciplines, upholding the value and sanctity of each tradition that he tried, both within and outside Hinduism. Thus, his testimony of God consciousness, which occurred a century ago, remains fully in step with contemporary methods of religious study. In this book, Claude Stark raises another question. All this has been based on the experiments made by Sri Ramakrishna. But what is the validity of these experiments? Is there any documented evidence? When he has gone for proving that all these, fortunately for us, the incidents of Sri Ramakrishna's life have been very well documented by authoritative sources. In fact, most of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, like Swami Vivekananda and Swami Shardanand, they were graduates of Calcutta University. They were well versed in documentation, and in fact Shardanandji writes in his biography, not a single incident or experience has been given here which has not been verified thoroughly by the author. he was a medical student. This is the great fortunate part that Sri Ramakrishna's life is so well documented. We have a photograph taken of Sri Ramakrishna by camera. We have his clothes. We have the pot that he used. We have all documented evidences. And fortunately, a teacher, a professor, Maheta Gupta, M, he used to go every day to Sri Ramakrishna. Of course, he incidentally came. He did not come to Sri Ramakrishna. He came in search of getting peace of mind. So he had come just for the garden. Dakshineshwar, there was a beautiful garden. And by curiosity, he peeped into the room where Sri Ramakrishna was staying. He heard only one sentence and he got so much of peace that he entered. And then he went on hearing, and he had come out from his house with an idea of committing suicide. Reverse thing happened, he got a new life, and then he continued to come, and then he wrote down all the teachings in his diary. Later on, this diary was seen by Swami Vivekananda. He said, "Oh, this is very invaluable. You must publish in the form of a book." He said, "No, it's my private diary." But afterwards, at the request of Swami Vivekananda, he published the diary, and that is the name of the book, The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Ramakrishna Kathamrita. And that Kathamrita saved thousands of people from suicide. Thousands of people, they have got new life, and they are getting new life every day. Such teachings full of nectar and giving the rationale behind interfaith harmony. You cannot but be touched by this spirit of Catholicism, by this spirit of interfaith harmony, if you read this book, The Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, if you read the life of Sri Ramakrishna. So there, Claudius Stark says that this particular thing has been already well documented, and that is why first thing is that in response to such a challenge, the following points should be noted. First, Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual experiences were verified in a systematic and conscientious manner by responsible and qualified disciples, all of whom, except one, had been trained in Western-style universities. One was Latu Maharaj, who was from Bihar, he was unmentored. The rest all were this. Then secondly, he says, a number of leading contemporary Western scholars have unambiguously given their stamp of authenticity from the perspective of their own understanding and their special fields of discipline to Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual experimentation. In the historical field, Arnold Toynbee. In the physical sciences, Robert Oppenheimer, Edwin Schrödinger, Sir Arthur Eddington, Harlow Shapley, James Houston, Shader, and Dana L. Farnsworth. In the social sciences, Peregrine Sorokin, Robert Woolwich, Pope Robert Maurer, Paul E. Johnson, and Goran von Alford. And among Christian religious leaders, Rudolf Otto, Joachim Watch, Edwin Booth, Walter Clark, George Williams, James Luther Adams, Henry Cadbury, Harold DeWolf, Houston Smith, Geoffrey Pennender, Edgar Brightman, Paul Schilling, John Levy, Peter Busby, and Walter Mueldel, and a host of others. So many of the Western thinkers have given their stamp of authenticity. In fact, the great historian Arnold Toynbee became very much perturbed. He was already a very important official during the First World War. He saw with his own eyes the people dying there. And after seeing so many dead bodies, he became very much frustrated. He resigned. But by the time he recovered from that shock, there was a Second World War. And he lost all hope for humanity. No, humanity is now going for destruction, self-destruction. But suddenly, he came across the life of Sri Ramakrishna, and he got a new life and a new hope. And then he said, we are now living in the history of a very transitional nature. The present history had a Western beginning. But if the world has to survive from self-destruction in this atomic age, it must have an Indian hand. And then he says, Sri Mahatma Gandhi and Emperor Ashoka's principle of non-violence and Sri Ramakrishna's testimony as to the harmony of religions. These are the attributes and the values which will save the whole world from self-destruction in this atomic age. Many historians, many thinkers are now confirming that this message of Sri Ramakrishna can only validate the proposition that all religions are equally true in their own right, in their own might. Let us respect other religions. Let us follow our own religion wholeheartedly. But let us not other religions, because let us not hate other religions. Other religions are also equally valid paths to the supreme reality. So Swami Vivekananda told, anybody becoming member of Ramakrishna is not only monks, anybody, because we have two types of members. Lay members, who are householders, and monasteries. For both the types of members, he said, anybody becoming a member, they have to give a declaration. I respect all religions as equally true. This is the way for interfaith harmony. When all the other people, and it is not a declaration, it's not only mere declaration. We have been practicing this interfaith harmony not only by conferences, not by interreligious dialogues, not only by lectures, but by actually practicing. In Ramakrishna order, you will get monks who are Christians by birth, and they have become Vedantists. They are monks of our Ramakrishna order. They have been told to continue to meditate on Christ. They are Muslims by birth, who are members, not only members, monks of our Ramakrishna order, continue to pray in their own manner. There is full freedom. Not only that, I don't know how many of you came. 24th of December, we had a gala celebration, Christmas Eve celebration at Vadodara. Almost all our centers have Christmas Eve celebration. All our centers in Bangladesh, very nice celebration, Eid celebration. We have 167 official branch centers all over the world, 40 abroad, 127 in India. And out of that, apart from this, more than 1,000 non-affiliated centers being run by our devotees and friends. In almost all our centers, we observe Sri Ramakrishna's birthday, Holy Mother Shadari's birthday, Swami Vivekananda's birthday, Guru Purnima, Durga Puja, Kali Puja, Shri Krishna Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Guru Nanak Jayanti, Mahavir Jayanti, Christmas Eve, Eid celebration. All the great religions of the world are given respect. We are following it. We are following it, not only that we are preaching it, but we are following it, demonstrating that this can be done. Of course, you can be faithful to your own religion. That should not stand on the way of respecting other religions. Now this is the thing, this is the message that was given by Swami Vivekananda. On 22nd August 2007, last year, Prime Minister of Japan had come to India, and he was made to address both the parliamentary members, both the parliaments. He addressed joint session there was, and he addressed both the joint session. And you know, he started his speech by quoting Swami Vivekananda's speech in the Chicago Parliament region, and he ended his speech by quoting another speech of Swami Vivekananda in Chicago Parliament. The Prime Minister of Japan said, all the problems of the world can be solved if we take up the message of Swami Vivekananda. This interfaith harmony is now coming in the form, this lack of interfaith harmony is now coming in the form of terrorism. The whole world has to solve it, or otherwise all of us will have to suffer. This is high time we take up the message of Swami Vivekananda, told by the Prime Minister of Japan on 22nd August 2007, recently. And so I will also try to conclude with the message that was given by Swami Vivekananda at Chicago Parliament Religions. This was on the last day. That was on 27 September 1893. Swami Vivekananda says, if the Parliament of Religion has shown anything to the world, it is this. It has proved to the world that holiness, purity and charity are not the exclusive possessions of any church in the world, and that every system has produced men and women of the most exalted character. In the face of this, if anybody dreams of the exclusive survival of his own religion and the destruction of others, I pity him from the bottom of my heart and point out to him that upon the banner of every religion will soon be written, in spite of resistance, health, and not fight, assimilation and not destruction, harmony and peace and not dissension. This is the message of Swami Vivekananda. This is the message of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the message that we have to work on. There was a very nice song, very favorite song, Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Both were expert singers. Whenever Swami Vivekananda would come as a college student, Sri Ramakrishna would say, Naren, please sing song. And then Naren would sing many songs. Then after says, now I am going, no, I will not allow you to go till you have sung that song. That was a favorite song that was written by the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar. तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, एक तुझको अपना पाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है. Is that every human being is the same divine. That is the message of Vedanta. That is the message most important for the humanity today. Bahadur Shah Zafar, he was a Sufi saint, but this Sufi message contains the whole message gist of Vedanta. And that is the message of Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Inviting you all, come to this new religion. There is no new religion. Whatever you are following, continue to follow. If you believe in Christ, believe in Him. Follow Christ. If you believe in Islam, be a better Islam. Be a better Muslim. Swami Vivekananda says, I will go to the church and kneel down before Christ. I will go to the mosque and I will pray with the Muslim. I will go to the Gurudwara, I will pray with the Sikhs. I will go to the Hindu temples, I can go everywhere. That is the universal religion that is coming. This is Vedanta. The universal religion that is going to be adopted more and more by the people who believe in scientific religion, by the people who believe in Catholicity, by the people who believe in peace and world peace, by the people who believe in bringing about and ushering in a global civilization based on global and spiritual culture. All those people we are all inviting. Take up that message of Swami Vivekananda. Jo kuch hai so tu hi hai. Inside each and every human being. And now the modern quantum mechanics has proved it beyond doubt that is a holistic universe. All the particles of the whole universe are interconnected at a deeper level. Bell's theorem has been externally verified by David Bohm, and that is why Schrodinger says consciousness is a singular, of which the plural is unknown. Isha vas vidam sarvam yaskin jagatyam jagatyena tatyena bhunjita mahavragatasya siddhanam sarvam khulu idam brahma. Inside every human being is the same divinity. Let us respect that divinity. Let us go for that real spirituality. Let the Muslim become a real good Muslim. Let him go to the fundamentals. Every religion there are two things. There are fundamentals, interior core, and there is the outer core. Outer core of every religion is so different. Just the reverse. We fast in the day, Muslims fast in the night. Reverse. Our external forms, reverse. But if you go to the core, inner core, all speak of love, all speak of service, all speak of charity. All the religions, fundamental values are the same. Let us go to the core. Let us go to the fundamentals. If we go to the fundamentals, fundamentalism will be automatically removed. Let a Hindu become a better Hindu, a Muslim become a better Muslim, a Christian become a better Christian, all the problems of the world is solved. But we talk about as if we have become Christians, and as if we have understood the whole of the message of Christ, and in our own language we try to preach it. Not only that, we try to destroy others. This is what we have to do. If we go to the fundamentals, fundamentally the message is the same. I am very happy. Once again, I thank Parimalbhai Maheta and the organizers for giving me the opportunity of sharing some of my thoughts. Now this is what we can do. Number one, we can ourselves practice this interfaith harmony. We can ourselves be convinced first of all that yes, there is an ultimate reality which is everywhere, existing everywhere. There is a basic unity there in everything, in everywhere. Let us respect that divinity. Let us respect that supreme consciousness. Let us respect that fundamental principle which is beyond time, space and position. And once we become better in our spiritual field, once we have practiced that, automatically love will emanate. Hatred will go. Universal brother will come. And then, seeing us, some other may be inspired. Jyot se Jyot Dale. There will be another spark in the neighborhood, then another spark. And the more this message of Sri Ramakrishna spreads, the message of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda, the message of Vedanta, the message of universal harmony, The more it spreads, there are so many interfaith now dialogues going on. Very good. It has to be practiced. Simply talking in the conference does not hold good. We tend to become a part and parcel of our life. Then only there will be change. A paradigm shift on our thinking, a paradigm shift on our behavior pattern, and then only love. That love is the supreme. Swami Vivekananda says, I always teach love and love alone, and I bless all my teachings in the great Vedanta view of oneness of the whole universe. The whole universe is one. I express my deep thanks and grateful thanks to the organizers. Thank you all very much for giving a patient hearing. Inviting you all to Dilaram Bungalow, where Maheta hosted Swami Vivekananda. You will find every upper center, you will find world religions. All the symbols of world religions are there. You can come and pray to Christ there. You can do namaz there. You can pray to your God in the meditation hall, in the silence, and you will get the help of those vibrations to traverse the path in which you are traversing. We don't tell you to change the path. We only tell you, go towards path, go to the fundamentals, become a better Christian, become a better Hindu, become a better Muslim, become a better Sikh, and you will become a better human being. And once you become a better human being, then the world is all around. Oh, thank you.